Hey, I'm Ethan.
Hey, I'm Mike.
I watched the first half of Halloween H2O 20 years later.
I watched the second half of Halloween H2O 20 years later.
And this is the other half. I close my eyes like it'll make it quiet.
I know.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Sorry, audience.
Welcome to the very last spooktacular episode of the other half.
Mike, why are you saying it with such knowledge that you just figured this out or something?
Because you just told me. Because I just learned this like a minute ago.
Into the next movie. It's
I
gonna be a
know.
little horror.
Might be another horror movie.
Mike's just like, they all blend together. It's all horror movies all the time.
I thought October was a much longer month than it actually is.
It's pretty fucking long. We got 5 episodes of horror of Spooktacular, so
that's true.
6 would have been nuts. I don't even think is there any way you can get 6? No, I don't think there's. I think
6 Thursdays in October might be possible.
I don't think you can have 6 Thursdays in a
Ever?
month. I don't think so.
No month has 6 Thursdays.
I'm pretty sure it
in
caps out. I don't think the math lines up.
Well, why don't I look it up and you tell us a little bit about Halloween
there ain't no way.
H2O.
Ain't no way. I'm looking it up right now. Ain't
Okay,
no way.
fine.
No, you look it up for real though. I just looked at a calendar and said that's stupid.
You just looked at a calendar.
You ever look at a calendar, man? You can't fit a lot of dates in there.
You ever look at a calendar, man?
Yeah, Calendar Man from Batman. We all love him.
Calendar Man.
Is that his theme song?
Yeah.
I can't, man. That's underrated HBO show. Calendar Man. Man.
How many weeks in a month legally?
Legally? Oh, man. Oh, fuck. Illegal weeks.
All the months in the calendar have 4 complete weeks.
Okay.
So, I mean, that does
That's
make
minimum,
it,
so you
that
gotta have
doesn't
4.
make it sound good. Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you can get a 6th one in there.
Can't really sneak at in there. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. A calendar month has 6 weeks.
No, I think it's maxed out at 5. I think we got the maximum amount of spooky movies, I think.
Oh, wait. I got one. And according to this, in April 2017, there's an aberration. 6 weeks in April 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
What day was it? Like a Sunday or something?
What do you mean what day was it? It was an entire month.
You can't do an entire 6 weeks in one thing. It probably just meant that they touched it or something, right? Like, there couldn't be an entire, like... Because that means there'll be 7 times...
Wait,
7
what am I
times
looking
6?
at?
That doesn't
1,
make any
2,
sense.
3... Oh, wait. No, that's 5. Wait, no. Okay, so here's what's going on. Look, so the first is, like, the first week. And then that's the only week. Are you talking about complete weeks?
No, I'm just talking about, like... Wait, it's April 2017.
No, wait.
Oh, are you talking about July?
Where is this? Wait. 6 weeks.
This is great.
This
content.
is great podcasting
You guys,
content about
pull
Halloween.
Pull out your calendars and look at 2017, some random date. I don't remember anymore.
Slightly longer answer. Calendar view is designed to be able to show you a grid of 7 days long and 5 weeks high. It isn't capable of displaying more than that at once. This presents moments where the complete month cannot be displayed.
Complete month cannot be displayed?
There's apparently 5 weeks in February 2015.
Oh, there's 5. That's not 6 though.
I know, but I think people are mentioning
there is like always like a 5th. I know there's always like an extra Friday every so often. There's like a 5th Friday, and people get paid twice if they're bi-weekly.
I think what's going on here, and I think
it happens twice a year.
I'm getting the wrong information here. Is what this is going is like, is it possible from a UI perspective for there to be 6 weeks?
Oh no, you found the wrong type of question. The UI perspective. The Google AI.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. That
Halloween. What a great series! Originally directed by John Carpenter.
Yeah, man. I've never seen Halloween.
You've never seen the original Halloween? Any of the Halloween movies?
Didn't we watch one for the podcast?
Did we?
I thought it was like Halloween 3 or something. No, we didn't. We never watched a single Halloween. I'm thinking of Friday the 13th.
You're thinking Friday the 13th. Yeah.
I always get those two mixed up.
That's
so
fair.
Like,
they both have spooky guys in masks going around killing teenagers.
Yeah, that's pretty
but
much it.
I always feel like the Halloween movies are like in a much higher echelon.
I agree.
Even though you've never seen
I've never
one.
seen them, but I've only heard good things.
They're very good. They're obviously very hit and miss.
Yeah, you got the
yeah.
sequel 2, and then you got the
third
actual
one.
anthology of the third one.
Right.
Have you seen that movie?
I love Season of the
Witch.
Yeah,
I've heard it's fun.
It's a fun one. It doesn't. There's one appearance of Michael Myers in it, and he's on TV in a bar.
It's amazing. Yeah, because he doesn't matter.
Because he doesn't matter.
This is what they originally wanted, an anthology type thing. And
Yeah.
they're like, what if we made a direct sequel, and we made another sequel that happened 20 years later.
The Halloween series is fucked. There, I believe. Oh, man, I'm gonna have to Google this one now because this is gonna sound like bullshit. I believe there's 4 movies that are just called Halloween because there's the original Halloween, and then there was the Halloween that came out recently, and then there was Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yeah. Oh man, I forgot he made one.
Or maybe it's just 3 Halloween movies and 3 Halloween 2s. Like I think
I think you might be right.
That's probably
and
what
that's
it
pretty
is.
fucking weird.
It's very weird. When
yeah,
because
I think every single one of them, because Danny McBride made
made
another one. Yeah, I got sequels. Rob Zombie got a sequel to his Halloween.
Weird Al Yankovic was in that one.
All right, well that's how you know
it's
you're
a
going
bad
off
movie.
Oh yeah, but they're better than Friday the 13th apparently.
Very much so. I like Halloween. It's nice. It's it's comfy too. Like Friday the 13th happens. Yeah, exactly. I think that movie takes place at like a summer camp, so it's not like
Friday the 13th is like summery. Well, this is Halloween, spooky vibes and everything.
Feels good. I grew up with a lot of watching a lot of Halloween movies. I watched the one after this one, which is Halloween. Oh man,
I don't even know what the numbers on this one. H20? Like they didn't get to Halloween 19, and then we're like 20 years later.
No, it's because it was 2000, I believe. Oh no, it's also because 20 years after the first.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what H2O stands for, which is so fucking lame.
They just really, they really just wanted to have a cool initial.
Yeah. What's the one after this? Because I remember seeing the one after this where like, spoilers, Michael comes back, kills Laurie.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then oh god.
So she survives this one?
She survives this one, and spoilers, she kills Michael at the end of the movie.
Wow! Yeah.
Again, but I mean, in this version, and I'm actually kind of curious what happens in the one after this one. It's pretty unambiguous that she's killed this guy. What's the one I saw? Halloween Resurrection, which came out in 2022.
Well, he got resurrected, obviously.
Great fucking movie.
You know exactly what he did.
I love this movie. It has, oh my god, who is in this fucking movie? Busta Rhymes is in it. Tyra Banks is in it. Great film. Great fucking movie.
Okay.
It's a reality show, and they go to the original Micheal Myers house, and a bunch of teenagers are locked in the house and on Halloween night. And then there's one dude who's a nerd at a Halloween party, and he's watching a live stream at the party because he's a nerd because he's not actually into partying. It's a great movie, but that's not this movie.
No, that's not this movie. No, we barely talked about this movie.
But how long? We're like 5-6 minutes into the movie. 10 minutes in. Yeah. Finally, let's talk about H2O.
Halloween H2O. 20 years later, it
20
says.
years later.
20 years later.
So, yeah.
But yeah, no, well, what have you heard about this movie beforehand? Like, why did we pick this? You can't just jump right in. We got a little preamble.
Because this is always the movie I think is Resurrection. I always mention, I always say, oh yeah, I've seen Halloween H2O. And then I like actually look at the poster and I look at, the story. I'm like,
Jamie Lee
I
Curtis
haven't
is in this
seen
again,
movie.
huh?
Yeah.
I always heard this is like decent for what it is. Kind of, people always are like, that's actually like an okay Halloween movie.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I was like, this is fine.
Yeah.
So far.
It was clear that like Jamie Lee Curtis also had a lot of like love for the series. Yeah. Like her mom shows up in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. From to be oh god, what's her name? Oh no. It's the old lady in the movie. That's her mom.
I don't see an old lady.
You don't see an old lady in this movie?
No, I don't think so.
Oh no.
The thing is, this movie also has a really good break point for the halfway moment.
How do you mean?
Oh, the old lady.
Yeah.
The lady that's like the secretary or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I did see her. That's her mom?
That's her mom IRL.
Oh.
That's, oh my god, I cannot believe I'm forgetting her name. Janet Leigh.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, who was in Psycho.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. That's the nepotism part where everyone's like, Jamie Lee Curtis can't act or whatever because she's in it. I'm like, I don't know. She's still pretty great. She's pretty good in this film, honestly.
Yeah. She's an Oscar winner, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Josh Hartnett. Also, pretty good.
Rocking a terrible haircut yet again.
Yeah, he's got a Dumb and Dumber look.
Yeah, but he's good in this.
He's pretty good.
Also, Michelle Williams.
Michelle Williams is in this.
What the fuck?
Also, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Not my half of the movie.
Yeah, he's really not my half of the movie either. Anyway, Halloween H2O, 20 years later.
Stacked cast. Oh, and lest we forget, LL Cool J.
Oh, LL Cool J, how did we forget?
Rocks in
He's
this
a lot
movie.
of fun.
I like
He's
him.
A fun character.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 1998, someone drives home. It's Halloween, or a couple few days before Halloween, and Sandman's bumping.
Oh.
Mr. Sandman.
Oh, okay.
Give me a dream. Is that related at all to the original Halloween movie?
No.
They just were like, this is the theme this time.
I think like Michael Myers is like a Sandman of sorts. He puts people to sleep permanently.
Sure, I guess so. You can say that about any serial killer, but okay.
That's true.
So the looks like I thought it was a waitress lady. I put waitress lady a lot. I realized she's a nurse.
Oh.
She arrives home to what looks like a broken light. Looks like her door's kind of been ajar and broken into. So she's a little suspicious. She's like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the neighbor's house because she looked in and looked creepy.
Right.
She goes to the neighbor's house and gets shocked by someone with a mask, with a hockey mask on.
Oh,
shit. But it's
like Friday the 13th.
But then he pulls up and it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's like, hey, what's up?
Oh.
She's like, hey, I got broken into. I'm a little nervous. He's like, no shit. She's like, yeah, no shit. Someone broke in. Also, the teen's house, because I haven't seen any adults here. I just see this kid, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and some random friends.
Nurse.
Well, there's also a friend with him too.
Oh, okay.
But the teen house has a butterball like mannequin from Hellraiser.
What?
Like he's just there.
How big?
In the corner.
Like a tiny one?
It's pretty. It's like a sizable one. You know, people put skeletons on their front porch. It's like that size.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
That's crazy.
I know. I was like,
man, bring back the Hellraiser.
Bring back Hellraiser.
Yeah, remember when we watched all the Hellraiser movies?
I'll never forget, Mike. I'll never forget, Michael. Check it out on theotherhalfpodcast.com.
Check it out. It was a good series.
So they hang out at the teen's house for a bit, and they kind of call the cops, and the cops are going to take like a while to show up. But Jimmy's like, I'm going to go look at the house. I got a hockey stick. I'm going to go check it out. And she's like, you don't want to wait for the cops? And he's like, nah, it's cool. And so they go to the front of the house, and he goes in there, and his friend stays behind with the lady. And he starts talking shit when he's in there. He's like, come out, intruders. I got a new hockey stick. I'm going to beat you up.
Yeah.
And he's looking around. He sees that the office has been trashed. He's like, damn, the office has been trashed. Everything else looks mostly okay. But then he gets in the kitchen and like an ironing board falls. And fucking smashes everything in the kitchen. He's scared. So he comes back out. And he's like, yeah, I mean, looks like your place is pretty good. It seems open. Like there's no one in there. But the office is trashed. Oh, and so is your kitchen area. Like, they got both of them. Yeah.
Well,
she
cool.
Says, oh, okay, fucking useless cops. So she walks in and they run off. And I guess they took a beer from her or whatever.
Wow.
These little janky teenagers. So she gets in there and starts looking around and sees that like the office is indeed messed up. And on the desk of her office is an envelope. An envelope for Laurie Strode.
Ooh.
Who we
now,
all
you don't know
know
who Laurie Strode is.
Who we all know is the protagonist, Jamie Lee Curtis's character from the first Halloween movie.
That's right.
And it's been empty.
The second Halloween movie. And the fourth Halloween movie.
Is this not the fourth Halloween movie?
Yeah. Is it?
No, this is the fourth Halloween.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah. I was like, is there another one I didn't know? Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so she's like, oh, shit. That's not good. So she tries to run away because she sees, like, she's looking around. She's Michael Myers. We see Michael Myers in the background, but she tries to run and she leaves. Goes back to the teen's house where she thinks she's safe. But then she sees Joseph Gordon-Levitt with a fucking hockey stick in his head.
500 Days of Murder.
Oh, got him. That Michael Myers is such a bitch. So then Tony is his friend's name.
I was going to say Tony.
He's also like, she opens the door to try to escape and his body falls on her and she's like, ah. Michael Myers comes and he's got a fucking knife. He's trying to chase her around and then he's got her kind of cornered in the house and the cops arrive. Hooray, they're here. But they're going to the wrong house.
Right.
Because they're going to her house and they look around like, oh, looks like nothing's going on here. And she's like, no, you fucking idiots, I'm over here. And then she gets her throat cut and she dies. Oh. And then she even tries to break the window and they don't even hear it. And then they eventually look over and they're like, oh, look, bud, there's a break-in over here. Uh-oh. And then you see a bunch of cops actually do arrive because
work.
Yeah, they do find it.
You're gonna have to steal a lot of beers from this place.
And then they say, this is we got a chief detective here, and he's all like, yeah, this is the place of Marion Whitting, the Sam Loomis's nurse, who was, I guess, in the first movie.
Oh yeah, Sam Loomis. Yeah, Dr. Loomis.
Dr. Loomis, who's obsessed with Michael Myers.
He was his doctor back at the old mental facility.
So he's just obsessed with him. Spent his whole life tracking this Michael Myers guy.
That's right. Played by Donald Pleasance.
Oh.
Just recently passed away.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
He's not in my half of the movie at all.
He's not in my half either. Just know this because I've seen the original movies.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The cops are like, well, one cop is like, maybe Michael Myers came back. And one of the younger cop's like, no way. He must be like too old for all this. He's like, I don't know. He seemed like he was pretty young back in the day. He could still do some damage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, 20 years isn't that
much.
long.
Yeah.
Like, you're still pretty fucked up, you know.
Yeah,
like,
Jamie Lee Curtis is still acting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you see the young cop like look at the disheveled office and is like, Michael Myers, yeah, right. And he shuts the door and goes, ding, 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 ding.
Hell yeah! How good is that theme?
Then
man?
it pops up the credits. It's so good. It's a classic.
It's great.
It's classic. It's
written by John Carpenter.
It's crazy that guy's just like, I'm just gonna do it all.
The dude is a fucking amazing guy.
Yeah,
man. Makes a great The Thing.
They live.
They live. Escape from New York.
He just really is just like, I just make movies, man, and I'm gonna go smoke weed and
play
video games. I love Borderlands.
They complain about Letterboxd.
Yeah, exactly. So then, yeah, we hear over the credits Loomis talking about how he met Michael Myers and like kind of like tapes and stuff. And in the credits it says, introducing Josh Hartnett.
Whoa.
And LL Cool J.
Introducing LL Cool J.
And Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Jimmy. And I'm like, that motherfucker
R.I.P.
just died.
Yeah.
Like, what a weird thing to kill someone off and be like, introducing him.
The theme is so long they needed to just add words, you know, to the opening title sequence.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
It's a pretty simple theme though. It kind of feels like a video game soundtrack where you can cut it off any time and it's like still
Was there
fine.
any kind of iconography? Sometimes it's like a pumpkin, you know, like a jack-o'-lantern in the credits on black.
I think there might have been, yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think it looked exactly like the iconic one where it's like all blacked out. You see the jack-o'-lantern.
Okay.
See, that's crazy. Like, even though I've never seen the movie,
You
like,
know.
I've seen so much of it. I've like almost seen it by osmosis, sort of
Right.
thing.
You already know all this stuff.
Yeah. Like I feel like that and Jaws are too, where I'm like,
you really need to see Jaws.
I know I need to see both probably, but
that'd be a fun double feature.
That'd be a good double feature.
Yeah.
Very scary. Summer scary, fall scary.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, the perfect transition movie to go for the seasons.
Yes.
Anyway,
check out our Discord. Maybe we'll watch it on there.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Anyway, so that dude died right away. Okay, yeah. So then we're here at the old university, and I guess
The
it's
old university.
And I assume this is the university she originally went to.
Mm-mm.
Really, because they show a picture of like what looks like the old. Maybe it's a different university, and they pan over to like a closet and they show flashbacks of her getting attacked by Michael Myers. I don't know if it looked like the same place.
No, it's different places.
Okay, so she
moved out here away from where she grew up,
but she still
wanted...
probably has images of that sort. If similar enough.
Every time she looks in a closet, she gets nervous. You know,
every time she looks in a mirror, every time someone appears, she's like, "Michael Myers is here. Michael Myers is here." That's
every time she
the whole
sees
movie.
Star Trek, she's like, "Oh."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she actually has a dream about being attacked again, but it's her nightmare, and she wakes up. She goes, "Ah, ah!" And her son, who is
Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett.
His name is John.
His name
or
is John.
Johnny.
It's
Yeah.
John. Yeah. He takes
How
care of
old
her.
is he supposed to be in this movie?
17.
Okay, and she was 17 when when she was attacked by Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they said that.
How old was she when she had him?
So 21.
Okay, she's 21 years old when she had
Yeah.
Johnny. Okay,
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
It lines up. It all makes sense.
It all makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks very old for 17. I will say
he does look a little old for 17.
I thought this was like a college that he was attending.
Yeah, actually, I thought that too until
Yeah.
you literally mentioned it. And you're like, yeah, I guess he is 17. He wouldn't be working.
He would probably be going.
It's
to
one of those
college.
like fucking fancy ass high schools that are basically like college. So.
Yeah, they have like gates and doors.
Yeah,
and shit.
gates and shit, and they got
Yeah.
uniforms and stuff.
Yeah,
It's like
one of them private colleges.
Yeah,
or
probably
high schools.
Probably because she works there. So
Yes,
he gets
she's a
in,
teacher.
and also
what does she teach there? English.
Yeah, English.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so she's like, all right, he takes care of her, gets her some meds, and she seems okay. They kind of have a little chat at breakfast, and he gets a late birthday card from Dad. 3 months late.
Who is his dad?
Don't really mention.
Some guy. Yeah.
Some guy. He's just not in the picture anymore. He's a bad guy. But apparently the whole campus is going to Yosemite for like a trip.
Ooh, that sounds
but
like
she
fun.
doesn't want him to go.
Why?
Because she's just very protective of him. She's just scarred by this. It's also Halloween, you know?
Sure.
And he says, "You're going to realize I'm 17 years old and you can't be too protective." And he says, like, "Dad would let me go." And she's like, "Yeah, well, your dad is a chain-smoking methadone addict."
Jesus.
And he's like, "Yeah, well, look who attracted one like that." And I'm like, "Damn,
what a mean thing to say to your mom.
Yeah, exactly. Like, wow, what a dickhead." But she's like, "You still can't go." You know, it's. He's like, "I know it's like the day." She's like, "What do you mean?" It's like Halloween. She's like, "Oh, I hadn't noticed." It's like, come on, man, you just had a whole nightmare about it.
Yeah. she's trying to act like it's not bothering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His friends. So he goes to school. He tells his friends, "Guys, go to Yosemite." They seem bummed, except for one of them, Sarah, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Oh, I hate Yosemite. I went once and it was stupid. And that's not the right word. Dumb. That's not the right word. Oh, it was repugnant. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, Sarah's one of them. Sarah's
Yeah.
one of those Joss Whedon talking motherfuckers.
Oh, you're
you know what
right.
I mean?
Absolutely
Yeah,
is.
that's what
She's
she
right.
feels like.
She's right, like My Eternal and stuff like that. Immortal, My Immortal.
My Eternal,
My
My
Eternal.
Immortal.
That's a sequel that no one wrote. But yeah, so he sees his girlfriend, played by Michelle Williams. Her name is Molly Cartwell. And says like he finds out that she also can't go to Yosemite.
Why?
And because her dad sucks or something.
Her dad is the dude with the gray hair, right? With the big nose.
I don't think so. I don't.
Is that Sarah's dad?
The carrot, the gray hair, and the big nose. Is he the one? He's not the one dating Jamie Lee Curtis.
He is
right?
the one dating Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, they're not. They're unrelated.
Oh, are they not related?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. No, I think you're right because his last name is Brennan. I think.
Yeah, I don't think they're related at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that'd be really weird.
I see. I thought this was like an apartment complex. I thought like so he was like checking up on them, and I was like, oh yeah, you check up on your daughter. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know? But no, these are just girls that attend the high school.
Here. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Molly Cartwell. But yeah, she's like, I can't go to Yosemite because my dad just won't let me. Sucks or something out of grades. I don't know. Doesn't matter. And so they're like, okay, well, it's the four of us have a Halloween party. I've not mentioned Charlie. Charlie's there.
Charlie's a guy. He's dating Sarah.
Yeah, he's a guy dating Sarah. He's Josh's friend.
Yeah.
He's just your stereotypical like shitty dude. I mean, he says like, oh, we could stay home and like hang out and like party here. We could have a roaming orgy instead because the whole grounds will be empty.
Yeah.
You know, he's a real funny guy.
He's a funny guy.
He's a funny guy.
He's really funny, yeah.
And you know,
and then he like goes to like kiss Josh Hartnett. He's just trying to get closer to him.
He's
man.
just trying to get closer to him. That'd be so funny. This orgy's great. Stares at Josh the whole time.
Right, girls?
Right, girls? You guys have fun. I'm gonna suck some dick. Some Josh Hartnett dick.
That's right. I'm gonna feel that Hartnett.
How Hartnett can you get? So we cut to a lady. This seems really stupid, but random. It's just a lady on the side of the road because they're like, we need to have some horror elements. We forgot there's a horror movie.
Horror elements.
Horror. I'm really bad at saying horror.
It's not an easy word to say.
No,
you got to be careful.
There's just a very similar word next to it.
I know. And you were describing a woman, so you're like, gotta include some horror elements. So there's this lady on the side of the road.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, I see what you're saying. She has a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid has to go to the bathroom. So she goes to a sketchy bathroom, and the women's room is locked for some reason. So they go to the boys' room. There's no one there except for one creepy car in the corner.
Oh, no.
And they're going, and they sit down, and the kid's in the other stall. And she's like, I'm going to go in this stall. She puts her purse down, and then someone comes and swipes the purse.
Oh, no. Her purse.
And I'm like, oh, shit. That's fucking scary.
That is scary. That's like legitimately scary.
That's legitimately really scary.
That's real scary.
And then she sees a man in a mask walking around. And then suddenly her daughter screams. You're like, oh shit. And she busts open and she's like, what happened? She's like, it's a spider.
Oh, God.
And they drive away and they're fine.
But what about her purse?
I guess she just got it stolen.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do?
That's true.
Stolen purse. You also, she put it by like the front of the
why not
stall.
bring it into the stall?
No, it was in the stall, but it was just the very front. I'm like,
Oh.
I mean, I guess you think you're alone. Like, it did seem like she was alone. So
I would never. It's a public restroom. Put it up on like a hanger or something.
It's true.
Like a coat hanger.
Yeah, it is pretty gross, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have it. I mean,
they need to have one of those doodads from Guilt Trip.
It's true.
Yeah.
This is a pretty rundown.
Oh, maybe they don't have coat hangers.
Yeah, it's
Can't
pretty
afford them.
run down bathroom, to be fair. It's just one on the side of the road. Anyway, the entire camp is going camping.
To Yosemite,
now,
except for our four heroes.
Well, and Jamie Lee Curtis isn't going.
Right.
Because she doesn't want to. And
she knows her son isn't going.
Yeah, she wants to babysit him.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other guy, Will Brennan, who is her boyfriend, who's also the guidance counselor, is like, no one wants a guidance counselor to go to Yosemite. They want to hang out with him.
He's the guy from Pig, the old man at the end of the movie that eats the food and changes his ways.
Oh wow, that's really funny.
I believe he's Alan Arkin's brother as well.
More nepotism.
I don't like this character. I think he's an asshole. I don't like him.
I don't know enough about him. I have. He just kind of seems okay.
He seems very detached from the relationship he's in, and I
I guess that's true. Yeah. He doesn't seem super supportive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we got to a security guard, Ronnie. He's reading
LL Cool J. He reads and writes Yes, romance novels.
It's smut.
and he reads it to his girlfriend or his wife
to like
over
be like,
the phone.
Is this good? And she's like, that shit's cheesy.
I love it. I love their relationship.
It's a very funny little concept.
It's a good character.
And he's just like, listen, it's gonna take off. She's like, it's never gonna take off. Just give up. You need to find like a real job. And he's like, no,
he has a real job.
He's like, I'm paying the bills, right? Does it matter? Like, I'm writing this while I work at the security. I'm like, that's a good idea,
it's
right?
True.
Security got a lot of downtime. You're just sitting there.
You're also working security for like a posh ass school. You know?
Like nothing bad's gonna happen here.
Nothing bad is gonna happen
Nothing
at this
ever.
school. Yeah.
But yeah, it's got some pretty good lines he reads.
Turned just in time to see her enter the room. With her long, slender legs, they climbed high up her skirt, leading to two tumultuous, round melon breasts.
Round melon? What?
Josh Hartnett. I was gonna call Josh Hartnett.
All right, good.
He is trying to get a hold of him. He's like, "Hey man, can you like let us out of school grounds?" He's like, I can't do that, man. Come on, I'm not gonna do that." And he's like, "Listen, man, I gotta make it special. I want to make it special for my girlfriend for Halloween. This is the first time I'm gonna be celebrating." And he's like,
"For some, you're gonna be celebrating Halloween together."
"I'm just celebrating Halloween."
I was gonna say because he's never celebrated it before because his mom is a weirdo.
His mom is traumatized, Mike. So then she's like, "All right, fine. You better not do anything weird." So they go out, him and Charlie. So then Laurie goes on a date with Will because they scheduled it earlier in the movie, so they have to go on it because they set this up. Now we're paying off.
Right. So stories work.
But she seems really distant. She doesn't really seem to be, thinking much about the date because she also was like staring out the window and seeing Micheal Myers in random places and getting scared by him.
Right, having visions of Michael.
And he's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And she's like, "Oh, are you tired of my bullshit?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm a counselor. I'm attracted to it." Which is like, it's kind of a compliment, but also kind of
a creepy thing to say if you're a counselor to children.
Well, no, I mean, he said it was a girlfriend, so it's different.
Okay.
And he says like, she's like, "I don't know, man." He was like, I've tried everything to make myself feel better. And he's like, you haven't tried everything. You haven't tried listening to me. No, he says, "I'm a good listener. You haven't tried talking to me."
Oh, okay. I was like,
completely different.
I was going to say, you haven't tried listening to me. Fucking buck up.
Fucking buck up, you little pussy. Come on. You fucking survived.
Get over it. Yeah.
Shut up. Survivor guilt my ass. He's like,
well, actually, he doesn't even know her by her own name, right?
Yeah, because she has a completely different name.
Yeah,
she's
completely
she changed
renamed
everything,
herself.
probably to be hidden.
This must have been very confusing for you as someone who doesn't know her as Laurie either.
No.
You picked up on it.
I picked on it pretty easily. So then it also says that, she's like, well, maybe I'll open up during a warm fire. Like, he seems like he's trying to be like, open up to me now while we're having a little glass of wine. He's like, okay, that's fine. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. He goes to leave the bathroom. She orders more wine with a full glass of wine.
Nice.
And the guy's like, okay. She's like, please. And he's like, fine. No problem, ma'am. And so she chugs the wine, puts it down, gives it back to him, and then takes a new one before he arrives.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, that's a sign of an alcoholic.
Do you see her actually like finish the bottle like in one shot?
She doesn't finish the bottle. It's just glass.
Oh, okay.
But yes,
okay,
you do.
Okay.
So then Charlie and Will are in the town, and they're there, and he actually goes and Charlie shoplifts from a bottle of wine from
a lot of wine.
From a liquor store and like displays it. Like he walks out of the bar, not the bar, excuse me, the liquor store, pulls open his shirt and goes, "Hey, I got it, Josh!" Like right in front of it. I'm like, "You're an idiot."
Yeah.
But no one sees him, so they start walking away, and it's like, this is gonna be something real special for my girl. But then Jamie Lee Curtis is there because she's also out for lunch. She's like, "What are you guys doing out here? You're not allowed out on the campus." And he's like, "Oh, we're just trying to get food off campus." Like, "You're not allowed. Go wait in the car, Charlie. Get in my car." And he's like, "Okay." So he goes in there.
So he's got to he's got to keister that thing.
He's got to hide it, yeah. But doesn't matter. Mom's more mad at Josh Hartnett. She says, "What the fuck, John? You know what day it is?" I don't. And then I'm like, "You know what day it is?" You earlier didn't know what day it was. You're like, you hadn't noticed.
Actually, Mom,
remember
you didn't even know what day it was earlier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Citizen.
Yeah.
Citizen, Mom. And she's like, I don't ask from you very much. I need you responsible. He's like, Mom, I'm never responsible enough for you.
He is very responsible.
He's pretty, yeah. I mean, this is like the worst thing he's done,
And it's not even that bad. Stealing some wine, come on.
He didn't even steal it.
Exactly.
She doesn't even know about that yet, to be fair.
What is he, like, he's not on campus?
Well, he's not supposed to. That's part of against the rules.
That's lame.
You gotta follow the rules.
That's the thing is, like, I'm watching this movie, and later on, like, they get into even more shenanigans. But I'm like, I mean, if I was their parent, I would be like, whatever, man. You know,
it's not
like,
that bad.
It's not that bad.
But you also got to realize
like,
that
underage drinking's not, legal. But, like, come on, 17.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, it's not the worst thing in the
If you
world.
can steal a bottle of wine, you can drink it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the thing is, though, she's obviously traumatized, right? So,
of course.
she's just gonna be extra protective. Sure. So that adds another layer of like, no, this isn't cool. You shouldn't be doing this, kid. Your mom's traumatized, but also it sucks to be a kid and be
He's
like
17 years old.
That's the thing.
He's gonna live with this his whole life.
It sucks to be a kid and have to like walk around your mom the whole time. Like that's probably gonna cause your own type of trauma.
Exactly.
Anyway, so he does to mom. He says, "Mom." There's honestly really good acting between the two of them. I really like this part.
And he's like, I want to be a hairdresser, Mom.
No, God, no. I'm gonna block that movie on my head.
Watch Blowout. Our episode on Blowout.
Michael Myers is dead, Mom. You watched him burn. And she's like, well, I didn't stick around to see the ashes. And he's like, it's been 20 years. What is he waiting for? I'm sure we'll find out later.
Yeah.
If you want to stay handcuffed to your dead brother, go ahead, but I won't.
Damn.
And he goes storms off. And then they turn on the car, and Mr. Sandman's on the radio again.
Mr. Sandman.
And they drive by a not creepy car. And I'm like, okay, for how paranoid she is about today, there's a very obvious creepy car that follows them up to the point where they need to get back into the school grounds. And they open up the door of the gates, and the car is like basically follows them almost to the gates,
but can't get in.
One just like kind of watches them and drives off. And I'm like, you didn't think that was weird? She's just like didn't.
The car following you back to your place.
Yeah, didn't notice that. Anyway, she's like, why'd you let these kids out? And Ronnie like looks at Josh like, you fucked up, bro. Like, why'd you do this shit?
Yeah.
I let you out and you fucked this up. So then Molly, his girlfriend, gets is alone and gets a dumbwaiter delivered to her with a map with a rose on it. And you're like, oh shit. Is this where she's gonna die? Like, is this Josh leaving a treasure note, or is it Michael Myers trying to kill her?
Myers is leaving a rose to kill her? You don't know how Michael Myers kills people, I guess, to be
I guess
fair.
not.
Yeah. He's very brutal.
So she assumes it's from John, her boyfriend.
Yeah. Josh
Hartnett. And then she goes and follows the treasure map and finds that in this kind of abandoned, I don't know what it is, like a science lab or something. In an abandoned area, he has a little place that says Happy Halloween. It's like a little nice date place. And he's like, I realized I never celebrated Halloween because, and she's like, why not? And he's like, well, because I have a psychotic serial killer who loves to butcher people on this day in my family.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, that's cute. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
She probably doesn't believe him.
Probably not. I mean, it is kind of a ridiculous thing to say that, like, yeah, man, I got someone in his family who just kills people.
My uncle's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's done it. He's got 2 movies about it. Yeah. So then he's like, well, don't worry. You have my full concentration. And they smooch. And they're like, she's very happy with all this.
Very cute.
So Laurie is teaching, but no one's listening. Even her son isn't really listening in the class.
He's got one thing in his mind.
But Molly looks outside, and she sees Michael Myers outside the classroom. He's hanging out in the schoolyard.
Spooky.
But guess what book she's talking about?
Oh, God.
Classic horror novel.
Oh, a classic horror novel? Is it Frankenstein?
You got it! Look at you!
Look at you! I was trying to think of like maybe something about like brothers and sisters.
No, it's not anything that smart.
No, okay.
No, it's just
Frankenstein.
Yeah, and like monster. She calls on someone, she's like, Molly, randomly. It's just like, what do you think of this? Like, why did you think he was pushed to the end and he had to finally confront the monster?
Yeah.
And she's like, he got to the point where all his friends were dead, and he had no choice. He had to confront the monster.
Right.
And I have a feeling that everyone's gonna die in this movie except for
Laurie.
Yep. And then she's gonna finally have to confront him and kill him.
Well, I'll tell you.
But that's my prediction.
It's a pretty good guess. Pretty good guess based on the foreshadowing.
Yeah, the foreshadowing. So then the class is dismissed, and she calls back Josh. Is like, hey, look, listen. Here's a permission slip to go to Yosemite. And I've decided, you know what? I need to let it go. You're older now. Here you go.
Gonna let him go to Yosemite.
Here's the thing. But at
he
this
doesn't
point,
want to go to
he doesn't want to go to Yosemite because all his friends are going to hang out here.
Yeah.
So what's the point? And so it's kind of a communication where it doesn't seem like he's like, I'm going to stay. He doesn't tell his mom this. And all the buses leave, and Laurie kind of watches them go and gets sad. And she bumps into the secretary I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of like sad, and the secretary's like, it's not my place, but I don't want to see you like this, but we've all had bad things happen to us, and the trick is to concentrate on today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what a useless ass piece of advice. Very mom-like, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, she gets in her car and drives off. I don't know if Tira comes back. It sounds like she does, but... then
she doesn't.
Then we cut to... Oh, really?
She doesn't. She goes to a hotel and takes a shower.
Okay.
No.
So then buses all leave, and while they're leaving, the janky car shows up and drives in, which kind of is weird because Michael Myers was spotted earlier by Molly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, who's in this car? Who's driving here?
I don't... Can Michael Myers drive? Like when
Why
he was,
wouldn't he be able to drive?
Well, when he was arrested, he was a little boy.
Yeah.
And then he was tossed into an insane asylum. Like, I don't think you teach people how to drive in insane asylums or when you're little boys.
I mean, you could probably pick it up, I imagine. Like, he's
Maybe.
probably not driving legally.
Well, do you think this is an old car? Do you think it might be like a manual?
Oh, it's definitely a stick shift.
There's no way someone who's never driven before.
There's a cut scene in this movie where
Where
he's
he
learning to
learns-
drive stick all by himself. You're just sitting there and he's just like,
Whoa!
"All right, pop the clutch, Michael. Fuck!
You could do this. You could do this.
You could do this." No, he just sits there silently and
Yeah.
just looks at himself in the mirror, disappointingly. That'd be a good little short.
I would like to
They
watch
should release that.
So I'm gonna guess that's my half of the movie.
That's the end of my half of the movie.
So I'm introduced to LL Cool J. He's reading a.
But by the way, this is a great time to have half the movie,
Why?
right? Well, because like all the kids have left. The
That's
campus
true.
has just been emptied. Like as soon as we see the bus drive off with all the people, Michael Myers now enters into the picture for real.
To the point where I was like, this. At first, I was like, this is a really fancy, like an apartment, like.
That makes
place.
sense because it's so empty, right?
It's empty, and there's like a gate at the front, and a guy that's like working security. So I thought this was like one of those like gated
To
communities.
be fair, that's the only place I've really ever interacted with security, like with a
Yeah.
gate, is at like a fancy apartment complex.
And then I see Laurie, and she's like in a classroom, and then she leaves the classroom and then walks like just across the like crosswalk or whatever, and goes into her house, an apartment or whatever, where she lives. And I was like, oh, okay, so she's teaching in a college. Like I was like really trying to figure out like what this location was.
Yeah.
I had no grip
It's
on
like the holdovers.
It's like
I
the
think,
holdovers,
I
yeah.
guess. One of
Except for
those
it's not
places.
like a boys' school. It's
No,
for
it's
everybody.
for everyone, yeah.
So LL Cool J's reading a romance novel to his girlfriend over the phone. He works the front gate security. A car arrives, but then it appears to be abandoned. He opens the gate to inspect it. This is interesting. So in order to open the gate, he has to get out of the security box and press the button.
Yes, there's like a weird random button.
And it's like, why isn't there another button in the security box?
That's what I was thinking. It's like such a stupid idea. And
Why
it's
does
like
the
out in the
security-
open too.
why
It's
does
like
the-
someone could just like throw a rock at it and hit the button.
Why does the security guy have to get out of the security box to open up the gate? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, that's stupid.
But I think it's to add like a little level of like drama and
Of course.
horror and whatever to it. Michael Myers sneaks in and immediately cuts the phone line, so LL Cool
Classic.
J is unable to
So
talk
this is open.
to his girlfriend.
Thing opened up.
Yes,
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers sneaks in, but he doesn't kill LL Cool
So
J.
I just don't understand why Molly saw him earlier on campus.
Mm.
Maybe he was outside of campus. I didn't realize that gate wasn't in campus. Like
Maybe
it was like a gate
there's
outside.
really no good sense of the like geography.
Yeah,
of the
that
place.
is kind of a problem with this movie. Is it kind of just feels like a kind of muddy where everything is.
Yeah.
Nothing really
It's
feels
a-
connected.
It is kind of like a complex, I guess, complex.
Yeah, but that's the thing is it's kind of interesting because a lot of times you see good movies where it's like, oh, I feel like I'm in a place. You know, I
Yeah.
feel like I could kind of, you know, those maps where you can see like, oh, we mapped out the Seinfeld apartment or whatever. Like
Right.
obviously it's a TV show; it's very small.
Sure,
But there's a
or
lot
like
of
the
or Hogwarts or something. You know, like because I feel like that's
or
a
like the Simpsons house.
the Simpsons house.
Yeah,
A lot of places that are like I'm trying to think
Family
of
Guy's house.
Family Guy's house, of course. I'm trying to think of some place like movie wise,
Sure.
but like those are all long. I'm trying to think of something that's like a smaller movie
length
that where you
can
know
get a
kind of
good
everything.
sense of the.
I would say even the building in Die Hard, honestly.
Oh,
like you
yeah,
get a good
that's
sense of
great.
where everything is, even
The
though
scale
it's
of it.
multiple floors
Floors.
and everything. It's just like I kind of get where everything is because the floors are there to kind of ground you and they show you every time. There's a lot
Yeah.
of like signposting to be like, I know where everything is. And I think that's really important in like a horror movie. And that's why a lot of good horror movies also take place in a house,
Right, or like a small, like The Thing takes place in like an Arctic base.
a very small area.
The original Halloween takes place within a couple of blocks from each other.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like these are like streets. So it's like, this is this street, this is the school, and these are the houses, these are the neighbors of the houses.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you get a good sense of like where everyone is in relation to each other.
This all felt like disconnected locations.
Exactly.
Which they might have been because campuses are big, but
and also like kind of sprawling.
Yeah. It didn't really give a good sense. And I think that's something that I feel like is overlooked a lot in movies.
Definitely.
As a positive to a movie.
Yeah.
But you really do notice it when it's not there. And I think that's one of the bigger things in this movie.
I totally agree.
It doesn't feel like it has a good sense of place.
Their only sense of geography you get is like within rooms, which is there, but then it's like when a character immediately leaves the room and then winds up in a hallway, you're like, okay, so how far away is this hallway to like the exit?
Yeah.
You know?
I had great knowledge of like where I was in the opening scene with the nurse and everything, like because there's literally between two houses, and I was like, I know exactly where everything
it's exactly
is.
what the first Halloween is.
Yeah, I have to know. I don't know. I know exactly where people are and what the stakes are and the players and all this like very easily. And I think with this big campus, it just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. That's a very apt point. So Laurie's walking home. She sees Michael coming towards her in the dark, and she like closes her eyes and opens them again, sees him, closes her eyes, opens them again, and then boo! It's her boyfriend.
Wow. She sees him twice with the eyes closed?
Yeah, but then
because
she's like,
there's multiple times that
she thinks she's seeing things.
She's multiple times her boyfriend looked like Michael Myers and turned into her boyfriend.
So he's just like, hey, can I spend the evening with you? And she's like, yeah, sure. And then they like depart because he needs to check up on the girls. And then as they leave, in the background, you see another shadowy figure. So Michael Myers was there, and he just like moved out of the way. I'm introduced to Sarah and Molly. They're watching Scream on TV. And Sarah,
another movie I've never seen.
That's a great one, man. Sarah hides her cigarette from the counselor. What's the name? Brennan? Will?
Sure.
Will, I think his name is.
Yeah,
her boyfriend.
William, I think. Yeah.
Hides her cigarette from him, and he's like, "So what are you guys up to tonight?" And she says,
"Well, we thought we'd hit the town, pick up some guys, drop some roofies in their drinks, have a whole date rape evening."
Huh. Sounds good.
Care to join us?
I can't. I'm having my nipples pierced.
Oh.
But you two have a good time.
and this is why I was like, "Oh, they're clearly related." Like, you don't have this sort of like off the cuff.
No, not just with a guidance counselor who literally is like, no one wants me to go to Yosemite because it'd be weird.
Yeah, exactly.
That is very strange.
It was a weird, like, this is why I thought they were related. Or at least that Molly and her were related. Because sometimes you're like, it's like you have like your daughter, and then your daughter has like a shitty friend, but the shitty friend is around long enough that you feel like comfortable. No, this is just like a teacher.
Maybe they are cool with each other.
I mean,
it could happen.
I don't want them to be this cool with each other. She's in high school, and he's a guidance counselor.
He's not making any advances. He's just saying weird shit.
He's just going like, I'm gonna get my nipples pierced. You're gonna.
She's talking about fucking date raping people.
I don't like any of this part of the conversation.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm not to anybody's defense here.
That's
I don't
fair.
like it.
All right.
So he leaves, and then they immediately sneak out the window with Josh Hartnett. And at this point, I'm just like, I don't know who anybody is in relation to each other. At this point, I assumed that these two were related.
Sure. Fair
so
enough.
we cut to Laurie. I loved this shot. This movie's like not wonderfully directed,
there are some moments though,
but there's some good moments. Like
Yeah.
in this particular case, she puts like a glass down, and then she pulls out a bottle of vodka, and she pours this glass like halfway to the top, like full of fucking vodka. And she puts the vodka away. She takes the glass, and we follow her as she just drinks the entire glass in one like.
I love showing
gulp.
how much she can drink.
And it's like, obviously it was water. Obviously it wasn't vodka. Obviously she's an actor. But I was just like, this is such a good... I don't know anything about Laurie at this moment. So it's good to like have it like reminding you like, oh yeah, no, she is dealing with
She's
something.
clearly damaged.
She's going through it. Yeah. So she drinks it all down, and then she chases it with some mouthwash.
Like, does she drink the mouthwash?
No, she just like puts it in her mouth so that she doesn't smell like vodka. And then Brennan arrives. Huh?
It won't help.
I won't help.
It won't
It
help.
won't
It's not
help.
enough. They always do that. We're like, I have a mint, and I'm like, that doesn't fucking. Do
This is a
anything.
lot of mouthwash.
I guess, but like that's also a lot of vodka you just down.
Also,
on
I
your
would be
gullet.
like, why do you smell really like mouthwash? What are you hiding?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
'Cause mouthwash is pretty potent.
Yeah, exactly.
Also smells like alcohol though, so maybe that's
Oh,
why.
I think maybe.
Yeah, it would cover it up because it's alcohol. Yeah, breath mints don't do that, but
No, but-
alcohol,
Like Listerine? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the girls and the guys all go to hang out, to make out. They eat food. They like take food from like the cafeteria, and then they drink. And I wrote down, honestly, not that scandalous. Like honestly, they don't seem like they're being like unreasonable or like what's the word I'm looking
Like, people will be upset if they came by, but it's like, oh, well, whatever. We'll just get more food.
Whatever. They're 17, 18 years old. You know, like fuck it. You
There
know,
should be like minor punishment.
they're not
That's
like
it.
doing hard drugs. They're not fucking
No.
like burning anything down. You know, like
there's no
whatever.
arson,
They'll be
whatever.
fine.
There's no property damage.
No.
Fine.
This is they're gonna wake up tomorrow, regret drinking that much, and then just never do it again for a couple more months, and then they'll go back and do it again. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like I'm watching this. I'm like, this isn't that bad. We come back to Laurie and Brennan. They carve a pumpkin and then they start making out. And then she starts to admit that her name, apparently, the name she gave him was Carrie Tate. She says, "I'm not Carrie Tate." She explains everything. She says that her brother killed a bunch of her friends. That she had to leave.
Gotta be a real good guidance counselor for all this shit.
And he was just like, "Oh, all right." Like, he doesn't seem interested. He actually seems way more interested in just like making out with her than actually listening to her. Even though, as you said, that's all he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Don't you like care? Don't you believe me?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I believe you. Yeah, everyone's heard about Michael Myers and Laurie Strode and all that." And I'm like, "Well, then what are you acting this way
Wouldn't
for?"
that be like finding out like your girlfriend's like a secret celebrity or something, or like even if it's like for a bad reason, it's just like I don't know.
Crazy.
That's crazy. You'd react a little bit, wouldn't you? He's too
He
fucking
acts
horny.
like she farted. Like that's how he's just like, "Oh wow, okay, that's interesting." Well, anyway, let's go back to making out. You know, I'm just like, this is a big deal, and she's opening up to you about like this horrifying thing. You know, so whatever. Eventually, she like forces him to listen to her. And I just wrote down, he looks bored. And she sees a birthday card because he's just like, why do you think? Because she's like, I think he's out again. I think he's out on the loose. And he's like, why do you think he would wait 20 years to go out and then go murdering people? Like, I don't
just
understand.
like her son.
And then she looks up and he's like, when did he attack you? And she realizes her son is the same age that she was when she attacked him, and that's why he's escaped and is going to kill people, is because she wants to kill her son and then kill her.
Escaped. I think he's dead.
He's alive. I don't know. I don't know what fucking escape.
I don't know what happened in Halloween too. So.
I don't either. I haven't seen it in a very long time. So she immediately freaks out. And I don't understand the context of this because I just see her. She sees the card that says 17 on it. Happy birthday card for 17 years old. She jumps up and she says, "Johnny! Johnny!" And then she runs and she's like, "They're not at Yosemite." And I was like, "Who's at Yosemite?"
What's Yosemite got to do with anything?
And then she's like, "I gotta call Johnny." And she gets on the phone. She's like, the phone line is dead. I need to call Johnny. And she goes, "They didn't go to Yosemite." I'm like, who is Johnny? And why were they supposed to go to Yosemite? I don't know any of what's going on
I've
here.
been safe in Yosemite.
Yeah. And then she pulls a fucking gun out and opens the front door, and like they bump into LL Cool J, and she's like, "The phone lines are dead." He's like, "I know. I came to you to talk to about that. Like, we need something's going on. There's a car at the front gate." And the three of them are like, "Okay, I say the three of them. LL Cool J and Laurie are like, "We got to figure this out." And the boyfriend's like, "Oh, you guys are overreacting."
There's always gonna be one.
What, there's a weird car in the front of the gate, and the
phone
line is
lines
out.
That's not a coincidence.
Not that big a deal. Yeah. So we cut back to Charlie, who is looking for a corkscrew to open up the wine bottle with. And he uses a dumbwaiter to go investigate downstairs to see if he can find a corkscrew. He goes down there, and he finds a corkscrew right above a sink. And he goes to reach for it, and he accidentally drops it. Where do you think he drops it into? It's a horror movie. He's near a sink.
Oh, garbage disposal.
Yeah, that's right. He drops it right in the garbage disposal.
Oh, yeah.
And he like looks over and he sees like a switch, and he flicks the switch and he goes, and he's just like, "Okay, I have to make sure I don't touch this switch." And he goes down to put his hand in the garbage disposal. And then as he puts his hand down in the background, you see Michael Myers is back there, baby. And for some reason, he doesn't hear or see Michael Myers. He's just way too focused on that lights.
That guy is
switch.
Absolutely the master of stealth.
He is
for being a massive
stealth.
dude.
Yeah.
I don't know why he can get away with
the
all
shoes
this.
he wears.
Oh yeah, that must be
He's
soft.
wearing really, really, really soft, quiet shoes. So
brand deal incoming.
That's right.
Michael Myers influencer. I see dollar signs. This is what I see.
And Michael Myers, it's gonna make a killing.
Ooh,
Yeah,
slay.
So what do you think happens here? We got a guy, his hand is down a garbage disposal. Michael Myers is right behind him. What's going on?
Michael Myers is gonna just smack that switch. Smack that switch while he's in there, and hold him down in it.
That would be pretty great. I like that. So
but that's too easy. They're gonna subvert your.
That's exactly what happens. He reaches in and he pulls out the thing perfectly fine, not a big deal. He just slashes his throat. And then he leaves him in the.
I gotta say, all the kills I've seen so far are pretty
They're
mid,
not great.
except for the ice skate was pretty cool in the face, but that was you didn't even see that. It was just
You just saw the aftermath.
yeah. I was kind of like, damn.
Yeah.
Man.
This kill isn't that great either because it really happens off stage or off screen.
Off stage.
And then Sarah, his girlfriend, is upstairs and she's just like, "Hey, Charlie, what's going on?" And she goes to investigate the dumbwaiter and she sees Charlie in there and she's like, "Charlie, get out of there!" And she's like, moves him and then his head falls back and she realizes Charlie's dead.
So he's stuffed in this dumbwaiter. It's a pretty small dumbwaiter.
It's pretty small and he's stuffed in it. And then she looks behind and sees Micheal Myers approaching, and she jumps in the dumbwaiter because she needs to escape him. And so she's stuffed in the dumbwaiter
with the body of her
next to the body of her boyfriend. It's pretty gross. And so she goes down to the bottom and she crawls out of the dumbwaiter. But as she's crawling out, Micheal Myers above cuts the dumbwaiter.
I was gonna say he's gonna cut that shit.
He does. He cuts the dumbwaiter and it falls, breaking her leg in half. Ooh. So she's now crawling on the ground. Her leg is all busted. And she's like, "I think I might be able to escape." And of course, she's so slow because she can't fucking move.
Yeah.
Micheal Myers shows up walking right in front of her and just starts fucking stabbing her.
Classic.
Another sort of not that great kill.
I mean, he's very efficient.
He's very efficient.
He's not about fun.
He's
about efficiency.
He can have some fun, in which, in this particular case, so Josh Hartnett and Molly go to investigate because they are like, "Where is everybody?" They go and investigate. They find a bunch of blood everywhere. And then they find Sarah's body is hung by a light bulb hanging from the ceiling, and the light bulb is in her stomach, and so it's just like a body hanging, and the light bulb is in her stomach, illuminating the insides of her like carved out belly. And I'm like, that's pretty spooky.
That's pretty cool.
That's a pretty good effect. Yeah. And then Micheal Myers shows up.
He's like, "Oh, I forgot the theatrics. I'll do it for someone else."
Here we go.
I guess he did stuff a guy in no dumb way. That's
pretty theatrical. Yeah, exactly. So Josh and Molly find Michael. Micheal Myers shows up and they fucking run. They just run. And as they're running, Micheal Myers gets closer, and then Molly, of course, fucking like falls because women in every horror movie need to fucking fall.
They got those heels.
I don't even know if she's wearing heels.
It
actually.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Her shoes are fucking hard to walk in.
So Josh, so like Molly's like on the ground. Michael goes to, I think, like slashes at Molly. Josh just fucking comes up and just fucking rocks Micheal Myers in the fucking face. Just smashes him the fuck out. And then Micheal Myers like kind of takes a couple steps back and then goes and just starts fucking slashing Josh Hartnett. And then Molly picks up a fucking rock and hits Micheal Myers over the head with it. And then they book it. And that shit was that shit rocked. I love that.
That sounds pretty cool.
Sounds awesome.
Sounds like a good escape. Good fight.
They're not escaped yet, though, because they got to run to a gated door. Of course, they have a bunch of keys on a key ring, and they can't figure out which key is going to open the
classic.
gate. They're under a lot of pressure. So finally, Molly finds the right key, and they open up the gate, and it locks behind them, but she accidentally drops the fucking keys outside of the gate. And those keys have the keys. So there's a gate, and then there's a door. So now they can't get in the door because they don't have the keys, but they're still locked inside of the gate.
There's no way they're going to open the gate from that side?
Well, they don't want to because Micheal Myers is showing up. And Micheal Myers can't open the gate from outside, so he just starts slashing.
Oh, he's right there. Okay.
But then he sees the keys, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to fucking pick these keys up.
I got all the time in the world, baby."
Yeah, exactly. He's just like, boom, 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 boom. And then he opens the gate up, and just as he opens the gate up, the door opens behind them, and behind them is Laurie. And she lets them in, and she smashes the door closed. And the door is like a window, and she looks at the like porthole window, and she sees Micheal Myers. They're face to face once again. She goes and she pulls a gun out, and just as she pulls the gun out, he runs away and he's disappeared. And that part was pretty fucking sweet. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
So what happens next? So
now Josh Hartnett's like, "I love you, Mom. You were right the whole time."
Yeah, pretty much. And they're all bleeding. So Laurie locks Molly and Josh Hartnett in a closet. And she walks around with a gun.
It's pretty apt for like her type of defense style. Just
stay quiet.
Just stay quiet. Lock them away.
Yeah, be protected.
Mama's got to do some work.
That's right. So she's walking around with Brennan, and Brennan's like, "Oh, I think you're still overreacting."
Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't even remember. He's giving off that energy. And then they're walking down the hall, and then Brennan's like, "You got a gun? That's crazy. You've got a gun." And then they see a person coming from the end of the hallway, and Brennan takes the gun from Laurie and just fucking unloads.
Wow.
And the figure drops to the ground, and they go to investigate. And of course, it's LL Cool J.
No.
Brennan has shot LL Cool J down in cold blood.
Wow. Now,
murdered
a
him.
real way to really hate a character is to
at
kill
this point,
LL Cool J.
I'm like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Fuck him. I hope he dies. And then Micheal Myers shows up and just murders Brennan.
Good.
Immediately.
He's like, I'm sorry, Michael.
Yeah.
I'll have to kill for us Michaels. We have to hate together.
That's right. And I was very happy he did that. So, Brendan is now dead. Laurie, John, and Molly all run away, and they jump into a car, and they rush off, and they drive to the gate, and Laurie opens the gate up, but just as the gate opens up, he's like, kids, you guys need to drive off and protect yourselves. I'm going to stay back. I got to finish things. And Josh Hartnett's like, Mom, no, Mom, don't do it, Mom. And then Molly's like, come on, don't do it. And then she's like, fuck off.
Fuck off. I live
Get
to
outta
make
here.
another reboot movie later on.
That's right. So they drive off. She breaks the gate lock so nobody can open the gate now.
Mm-hmm.
And then she grabs an axe. She's like, I'm ready to fucking kill my brother. So, and at this point, I learned that I realize now that Josh Hartnett is Laurie's son. I didn't know that. I just thought he was a random guy.
Yeah.
So they drive off.
So when she said, like, he's 17, you're like, oh, okay.
I'm like looking at him. I'm like, he's not 17.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm glad at the beginning of the movie he said that to me straight up.
Yeah, I was like, no, he's like 20.
Yeah.
He's at least 20. So she grabs an axe and she's walking through the halls calling for Michael. And then Michael's holding onto like a pipe from the ceiling, and he like drops down and slashes at her arm, and she stabs him with the California flag.
California.
Hell yeah.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
And he's knocked down, but he's still coming. And she's got 2 knives, one more than him. And she stabs him repeatedly with the knives and then pushes him off a landing on like a second floor.
Uh-huh.
And then he falls from the second floor to the first floor onto his back, onto a table.
He's got to be dead. He got like wrestling moves.
Well, that's the thing is like in the first movie, same exact thing happened. She tossed him out of the second story window, landed on his back on the ground, and then she looked back and he was gone. So
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
I'm like, I wouldn't trust this. And so she doesn't. So she goes downstairs and he's lying there lifeless, and she grabs an axe and she's about to, she reaches and grabs the knife from his body and is about to stab him again. And then boom, someone comes to grab her. Who is it?
Her son.
No. That's a good guess, but no, it's not her son.
Who's left? Who's left alive? I feel like
That's a
so
good
many people
question.
died.
It's a good question.
Molly?
LL Cool J is alive and well.
How?
According to him, the bullet just grazed him.
I think he got unloaded on.
He did get unloaded on, which is kind of funny because one, it makes Brendan look like a bad guy because he just unloaded on an innocent black man.
Yeah.
But two, he's also a bad shot.
He's also a terrible shot. Oh my god.
So yeah, LL Cool J is totally fine, and he stops her from stabbing Michael one more time. He's like, he's dead. He's dead. Don't do it again.
no.
He's dead. Which I'm like, come on.
Come on, dude.
Yeah. So the paramedics.
You also know the story, I'm sure, because everyone's heard of it. Like, just let them just go at it.
I don't know.
End it.
Just go at it, bro.
Yeah.
So the paramedics arrive. LL Cool J says he's gonna write a romantic thriller now. He's into thrills and chills. And so the coroner is gonna take Michael away in a little body bag. But then Laurie. Now here's the people that are alive now. We got Laurie, got Josh Hartnett, Molly, LL Cool J. So it's not like how you said where everyone was dead.
Yeah.
And everyone's still pretty much alive.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The only people that are dead are like Brennan, who nobody liked, and Charlie that nobody liked, and Sarah, which I mean, I guess
fine.
She was fine, you know. So it's like really Sarah's the only like innocent among them who like is dead.
Innocent. I mean, Charlie didn't deserve to die. He's just an asshole.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I guess Sarah was being pretty hot and loose with the weird rape jokes. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if that's enough to kill someone
That's not
though.
enough to kill somebody. That's true. At this time and day, you know.
She's like 17. She's gonna make weird off-color jokes.
She loves Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
So anyway, so people are still alive. So they're loading Michael Myers up in the coroner's van, and Laurie can't. She doesn't want it to end this way. So she fucking steals a gun from a cop and like points it at everybody and tells them to step away from the van. And then she jumps in the van and drives off with Michael Myers' dead body in the back.
I thought she was just gonna shoot the shit out of his body, because that's what I would have done.
No, she's driving it. I don't know where she's driving, but she's driving
this
it.
is ridiculous.
And she has the axe with her again, and she's driving down the road. And, she's driving down the road, and then she sees, movement in the back, and she's not sure if it's just the van moving or if it's actually Michael Myers. Do you think he's still alive?
Fucking just shoot the shit out of the bag.
It's like-
Shoot. That's what I thought she was doing. She was gonna be like, get out of the way. I'm gonna fucking end this, and just shoot him a bunch.
That would have been awesome. But
like
no.
that's the most logical thing. Why is she fucking driving it? This is so stupid.
So they're driving down the road, And then finally, Michael Myers is alive in the bag, and he unzips the bag, and he gets up, and he's about to attack Laurie, and then she slams on the brakes, and Michael Myers flies through the front of the van, through the windshield, the front windshield, landing in front of the van, and then she's like, "Get up. Get up, you coward. Get up, you son of a bitch." And of course he sits up and she's like, "Got you." And then she fucking gasses the van, smashing into Michael Myers in the front of the van. Both of them go careening down the side of a fucking...
Both of them?
Both, because she's in the van. She's driving the van.
Yeah.
So she drives the van that she's in off the side of a cliff.
Oh, shit.
With Michael Myers in the front of the car. And they drive and they go careening down. They go spinning. And she...
Hope she had her seatbelt on.
I think she does. It doesn't. I mean, even if she does,
Yeah, I know.
she could get fucked up, and she does get fucked up. She gets out of the van. She like crawls out of the van. The van lights on fire, and we see that Michael Myers is pinned. The van has landed in such a way where he is against a log or like the trunk of a tree, and the van is pinning him to the tree. Okay. All right. And so she goes up to look at him one more time to check if he's still alive. And then he is still alive, and he reaches out to his sister with his hand, and she's like, "Michael," and she puts her hand out, and they're about to touch each other, about to touch hands, and she yanks her hand back, and she grabs an axe and just fucking cuts his head off.
Nice.
And it just flies off to the ground,
I
lands
know why
to
she
the
had to do all
ground.
that. Why she couldn't just do it earlier?
Halloween theme plays, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, he's pretty
There's
dead.
no fucking way he's coming back from that, unless he switched places with another person, which I'm pretty sure happens in the next movie.
Oh yeah, it's like this is someone else's body.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is LL Cool J, and LL Cool J was actually Michael Myers the whole time.
The one thing I wanted to mention about this movie too, Michael Myers does not look scary in this movie. I don't know if you see him much in your half of the movie.
He's only. I mean, no, I don't. I only see him at the beginning when he kind of appears. He's okay. He's kind of creepy, but
his mask is too clean.
It
His
is
hair
very
is too
clean.
goofy. Like, he doesn't look like spooky to me.
Yeah.
He looks silly.
So pumpkin rating.
Oh yes, the pumpkin rating. I will give this one, I think, a 2, maybe 1.5.
Oh wow, I was honestly gonna give it a 3 until you mentioned that ending, and I'm kind of in the 2.5, so maybe 2.
Yeah,
I'm thinking 2.5.
I'll give it a 2
because I think it's like well directed. It has cool shots. I think it's interesting enough. Like I think there's some good acting in it.
Mm-hmm.
But like just that ending is just like what the fuck, man? Why would you just? It just seems so illogical and weird. And...
I remember when I saw the movie, he like landed on his back, and then I was like, "There's 10 minutes left in this fucking movie. What are they gonna do with the last 10 minutes?"
Yeah,
they
just like we have to get an extra 10 minutes out of this. I'm like, why? Just let it
You're
end.
Right. I think it's much more impactful if she does like unload the gun into Michael Myers.
Yeah, like just grabs a gun from a cop, just end of rage, just unloads it on him. Like that's cool.
But cutting his head off is also pretty great.
Cutting his head off is like the theatrical way.
Yeah.
But I also think like this is the dramatic way if she pulled the gun.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
What do I know? I didn't make.
You're
no
not
movie.
John Carpenter.
Well, John Carpenter didn't make this.
Yeah, I know. Apparently, they wanted to bring him on, but they were really gonna like they weren't gonna pay him enough, and he's just like, why would I do this movie if you're not gonna pay me enough money?
Yeah, he's definitely like, unless I have an amazing idea, fuck off.
He didn't even want to make Halloween 2.
No, he didn't.
He just did it for the money. Yeah. Which is like honestly good for him, man. Like he's like, I already made my Halloween, the first one. If people can make more if they want to, but like I already made the best one.
You know, I have one of the core memories I have with the Halloween franchise, not this movie specifically, is I remember I went to the wax museum that was in the Buena Park that's closed down now. It was a haunted one.
Ooh.
With my family, and I remember my mom telling me that like she went on a date with my dad to see this movie, the original Halloween, and so it was like the scariest movie she ever saw. And I went into the wax museum, and there was a section of horror. And I remember seeing all Michael Myers, and like there was like fog, and there was like a creepy Michael Myers like wax
so
statue,
spooky.
and I remember being like so scared. I was
Oh.
like, oh shit! So that's like my only memory. Like Halloween is like the legit scary one.
Michael Myers is definitely like one of the creepiest like monsters or like horror icons, because it's like he's just a guy in a mask, but he's unstoppable, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what's scary about him, you know. It's like you just, you know, you can't stop him. He's like quiet, he's quick, and he's just, you know, it's like,
Yeah, I
especially
feel
if you're
like
a teenager.
he definitely has an edge over I think Jason, which I feel like they're both kind of cut from the same cloth. Someone with masks trying to kill someone, but I think there's something more about sinister about like I think it's also just the mask is creepier. Like hockey mask is like whatever, that's just a
Yeah.
mask, but like. Was it a William Shatner mask or
It's a
something?
William
like that?
Shatner mask, yeah.
Which is just like some
Kirk mask.
random weird mask you just find. It's just like very iconic.
I think
And
it's
with
also the knowledge that he was like a child when he first killed too.
yeah,
Like
there's something about
movie,
that.
The movie opens with like the family getting murdered, and then they remove the mask, and it's just a little kid. And like I think that also adds to the creepiness. Cause like that's always the thing that scares me is like it's literally like a child under that mask that's just full of hate and like and just powered by like anger, and like that to me is terrifying. You know? Yeah. I like the Halloween movies. Okay, there's more good
the thing, is,
Halloween
like, this
movies
movie-
than like Friday the 13th.
Yeah, so this movie, like, not amazing.
No.
It's not that bad. Like you said, the kills are kind of mid. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things to nitpick at it, and a lot of things that, well, not even nitpick, but just a lot of flaws with the movie.
Yeah,
But
I put
it's
it
still
on.
it's still a fun watch.
Yeah,
like
I liked
I was
it.
never bored.
No.
I think honestly, out of all the movies we watched for this
might be the best
spectacular,
one. I feel like there was another one that we liked.
Well, let me read them off to you, Mike, to remind you as we close this off. The Watchers.
Nope, that one was shit.
Well, Mary Lou Prom Night 2
That one was
pretty
a fun
That
one.
was pretty good.
Kathy's Curse was bad.
Kathy's just Night Swim.
Not
No,
great.
not
yeah, this might be one of the better ones.
I will
yeah.
say, I will say this is probably the best like straight good
yeah,
horror movie. Mary Lou Prom Night 2 is just goofy ass.
yeah,
shit.
that's like camp.
But
yeah.
it's fun, but it's not a good movie.
yeah, no, yeah,
Um,
you're right. Yeah, it's a fair point.
But yeah, I don't know, kind of a sad year.
Kind of a weak year.
Yeah. I mean, this is our
agree.
fault. We curated the list.
No, it's our fault.
You watch too many good horror movies. It's a problem, Mike.
I know. Well, also some of these were recommended to us too.
That's-
So
Only
Kathy's
one-
Curse was recommended
That's
to
true,
us.
that's true,
Yeah.
that's true.
So and I think Mary Lou was as well. So two of them are not our fault.
I guess that's true. I guess that's true. Although one of them was the best one. I
Yeah,
think.
exactly.
So, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Halloween H2O. It's a movie you could watch, I guess.
It's a weird title.
It's a weird title. I just am like, oh, and then they made the reboot one, right, where she's older and like Michael Myers comes back again.
Yeah. Well, that was the
That's-
other thing
that's
too.
a more
is
recent one.
Laurie being the sister of Michael Myers is like a contentious thing. Like that's the other thing. Is like in the newer Halloween movie, she's not related to him. She's just like a lady.
Really?
Yeah, they're not supposed to be.
Did they retcon it?
Yes, they retcon it. They retcon it back and forth. They'll retcon it. Yeah, they're making them related or not. That was the decision I think that was made in the second Halloween movie that a lot of people didn't like. So yeah, it's a contentious aspect of the series. They like to go back and forth. I don't know if I have an opinion one way or the other. I think it's kind of dramatically interesting if she's related to him, but at the same time, it is sort of like a thing where it's like, I don't know, as long as you just don't hang out around, Laurie, you'll be okay,
Yeah.
So
He seriously
yeah.
has some issues, like who he targets and stuff. but-
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, hey guys, what are you guys going to dress up as for Halloween? Email us, email theotherhalfpodcast.com. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, and we also have a Discord. And if you want to listen to our previous Halloween episodes, you can find them on any podcatching app. And while you're there, please leave a 5-star rating and review. We will read it in the show no matter what it says, even if it is 20 years old. And we'll still read it. Somehow we'll be like, how the fuck did you post that 20 years ago?
That's crazy.
I know.
Glad I'm alive 20 years from now. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So is Michael Myers your favorite spooky, scary monster man, or is it like
Monster Man.
or is it like Ghostface from Scream, or Ghostface is a good fun too.
Like classic one. No, it's Chucky, man.
Chucky's good.
Chucky's great.
I love Chucky.
Love Chucky.
Yeah.
Child's Play 2. We watched that for the podcast.
Shit rocks. Child's Play 1.
I think in terms of like class, I'm just thinking of characters in Dead by Daylight.
That's fair.
It's probably Nick Cage. then.
Hellraiser.
Ooh, Hellraiser's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hellraiser's got a crew too,
He's got the
He's got a
He's got his
squad.
entourage.
He's got a squad,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
right.
kind of respect that. Like that's way none of these other guys that squads. They're all lone wolves.
Yeah, that's right.
I guess Chucky has like a kind of a girlfriend.
He's got a wife, the bride of Chucky.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Don't disrespect
Wow.
Chucky. I'm sorry. Don't come to my house.
He's
and
gonna
just
come for your ass.
cut my ankles or whatever you do.
Yeah. Well, anyway, happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy
Stay
Halloween.
spooky out
Stay
there.
spooky out there. I hope you all have a safe holiday.
Hope you enjoyed this year's
Oh!
I got it, baby. Good night, everybody.